not sure if these players understand what a negotiation is, but it's you give up something, I give up something, you give up something, I give up something. These players don't want to negotiate. They don't want to compromise. They want it their way. Shout out to Burger King. Have it your way? Yeah, they want it their way. Like the video, comment, and subscribe. Let's get right into it. Alexa Filippo.
That's not a negotiation. It's a demand. Currently, the WNBA Players Association is holding the entire league hostage over a collective bargaining agreement that could impact the 2026 season. The league recently presented what appears to be a historic offer max contracts exceeding $1.1 million, minimum salaries rising to $220,000, and average player pay reaching $460,000. This represents a 29% increase in the top salary alone compared to last year. However, multiple sources report that the players' union rejected the offer immediately, without countering or negotiating. They simply said no, delaying progress and risking the season.
Project B, they have unrivaled. They don't care about Juju Watkins coming in behind her. She could go kick rocks. We're trying to collect. We're coming to collect. Let's get right into it.
The league brought us a new proposal to the table this week that included salary increases. How was that received by the players?
Well, George, I'm hearing that the players and the WNBPA do not feel like this proposal moves things forward. And if you look at the numbers that came out with this report, you see a salary maximum reported of $1.1 million, a minimum of $220,000, an average salary of $460,000.
Listen to how the ESPN reporter frames this situation. The players feel the proposal doesn't truly move things forward. That's interesting language because moving forward usually means making progress from where things currently stand. And by any objective measure, increasing max salaries from $850,000 to over $1.1 million is definitely progress. But here's what the Players Association is really saying. Unless the proposal includes their specific revenue sharing model, matching the NBA's 50/50ths split, doesn't count as progress at all. That's not just a negotiation stance. It's an absolute demand. Players like Kelsey Plum have clearly stated in interviews that they want the same revenue share percentage as NBA players, around 50% of basketball-related income. The issue is that the NBA generates roughly $10 billion annually, while the WNBA has never turned a profit in its 27-year history. According to financial disclosures, the league has operated at a loss every season, relying entirely on NBA subsidies.
Do we know what that revenue share would look like?
That is still something that has a lot of ambiguity around and is not yet clear to the players. And so that's another question that they're asking and want to get some.
The players have said it multiple times. They want the same percentage as the men. They've said this multiple times. Kelsey Plum has said this multiple times. The same percentage as the men. 50-50, 49-51. If they don't get that, whatever the proposal is, in their minds, not moving it forward. You want to know what I think right now? You want to know what I'm leaning towards? Because you look at the people in the negotiation.
Now we're getting to the core issue. The leadership of the Players Association. Breanna Stewart, Nika Ogwumik, and Kelsey Plum are players who missed out on the NIL era entirely. They entered the league before college athletes could monetize their name, image, and likeness. Meanwhile, players like Caitlin Clark are signing multi-million-dollar deals before even stepping onto a professional court. Paige Buchers enjoys endorsement income. And Angel Reese built a brand in college that set her up financially before the WNBA draft. Juju Watkins is already on track to secure generational wealth as a sophomore at USC, but the current Players Association leaders didn't have that luxury. They went straight from college to the WNBA, earning rookie salaries around $60,000, flying commercial, and playing in nearly empty arenas. Now, they see rookies arriving with financial security they never had, and they want what they believe is owed to them. This isn't just about market forces. It's about recognizing what they feel they've earned for laying the groundwork in women's basketball.
I'll tell you this right now. If there's no 2026 season, the WNBA is dead. If there's no 2026 season, the WNBA is dead. Yeah, I'm sure some people will say, oh, I'll watch Project B. No, you won't. Not at the level that you'd watch the WNBA. Oh, I'll watch in No, you won't. Did you watch Diana Taurasi when she played in Russia? No, exactly. Did you watch all these other greats when they played overseas? No, my point is...
This is where the league's future becomes truly precarious. If negotiations break down and there's a number 2026 season, the WNBA risks not just a pause, but potentially its collapse. The momentum gained from the 2024 season, the Caitlin Clark effect, record TV ratings, and growing fan interest could all vanish overnight. Fans don't wait around for labor disputes to end. They move on. Looking at the NBA during the 1998 lockout, the season was shortened to 50 games, and it took years for attendance to bounce back. The 2011 lockout cut the season to 66 games, and casual viewership permanently declined. Unlike the NBA, the WNBA doesn't have that buffer. In 2023, before Caitlin Clark's rookie season, the average attendance was just 6,615 fans per game. Most teams played in front of crowds that wouldn't fill a high school football stadium. If the league loses its momentum now, it could be a devastating blow to its future.
Say you'll watch them, but are you actually going to watch them? The only hope that Project B has to get actual viewership is Caitlin Clark. But let's say there is no 2026 season. Let's say there's a 2027 season. You think they're going to come back to sold out crowds? Let's be honest now. Let's be real. Let's keep it a stack, as the kids say. No. They're going to come back to half empty arenas. They're going to come back to 3,500 people in attendance. And I'm not talking about in Dallas, where that's all they can fit in there. I'm talking about in Minnesota, where they have actual ample space for people to sit down.
He's right about the alternative leagues, but not for the reasons most assume. Unrivaled, the new 3-on-3 league co-founded by Breanna Stewart and Napheesa Collier, isn't meant to replace the WNBA. It's a form of leverage. Similarly, players like Nika Ogwumike are earning income from projects like Project B, a women's basketball venture backed by private equity. These income streams don't rely on the WNBA's existence. That fundamentally shifts the negotiation landscape. Traditionally, players need the league more than the league needs individual players. But when top stars can earn comparable money playing 3-on-3 in Miami for 3 months or doing exhibition tours, funded by venture capital, the power balance tilts. The Players Association can play hardball because their leadership has financial safety nets. The problem is, the players who need the WNBA most, the middle and lower roster players, earning $70,000 to $90,000, aren't the ones making these decisions. They're the ones who will suffer the most if the season is canceled, risking their careers and livelihoods the most.
We're just going to move to the next thing to complain about. If there's no 2026 season, how much more do these owners need to give up? Here, what if they reach out their hand? Here's a deal. The salary cap will grow with the business, but you ready, ladies? It will shrink with the business. Oh, well, that's not fair. That's not fair at all. WNBA Players Association is getting ridiculous. There are athletes, especially those coming out of...
Look at the timeline. The current collective bargaining agreement, CBA, expires after the 2025 season, giving both sides exactly 1 year to reach an agreement. If no deal is reached by October 2025, the league could face a lockout heading into 2026. Unlike the NBA, which can weather a shortened season due to its entrenched fan base, the WNBA is still in its growth phase. The 2024 season averaged 1.32 million viewers for nationally televised games, a 170% increase from 2023. This surge was primarily driven by Caitlin Clark's star power, who accounted for 18 of the season's 20 most watched games. If there's number 2026 season, Clark will be in her prime, and the league risks losing its biggest opportunity in history. The recent TV deals, new expansion teams in Golden State and Toronto set to debut in 2026, and the momentum gained from breaking into mainstream sports coverage rely on continuity. A lockout would jeopardize all of that. It's potentially undoing years of progress in an instant.
Play in the WNBA with a rookie contract the same as what a max contract was last year, mind you. And the mindless hardball the Players Association is playing is getting old and selfish. Agreed. Do they not understand that this is turning people off? Do they not understand now it's no more we're on your side, now we're laughing at the foolish decisions you're making? Notice how the sentiment shifted once Nafisa Collier made that little tangent speech? The temperature has kind of shifted to like, wait, huh? And then information comes out, oh, they're just want their demands. They're just holding.
This is the shifting sentiment happening in real time. For years, the narrative around the WNBA was that the league was undervalued, that players deserved more support, and that fans needed to turn out to prove the market's potential. To some extent, that was truth. The league was historically underpromoted and underinvested. But now, as details of these negotiations come to light, people are asking different questions. The players are pushing for 50% of revenue, which is understandable. But what happens if revenue declines? The NBA's revenue-sharing model works both ways. When the league earns more, player salaries increase. When revenue drops, salaries are calculated on a smaller total. Are WNBA players willing to accept the possibility of salary reductions if attendance or TV ratings fall? Because currently, that's not part of what's being proposed. They want to share in the upside of revenue growth, but avoid bearing the risk if earnings decline. This raises important questions about fairness and its sustainability in the league's financial model.
They play 44 regular season games, a part-time career, but that's not good enough for them considering most of the league is unwatchable and the players are mediocre, besides the top 10 players. The most entitled group of women I've ever seen, so greedy, and they've never turned a profit. Nasty, nasty, nasty work. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video, comment, subscribe.
This is the part that often goes unnoticed. The WNBA season consists of just 44 games spread over 4 months, whereas the NBA plays 82 games over 6 months, plus a longer playoff schedule. WNBA players are requesting a fair revenue share for roughly half the number of games. Some might argue that they should be able to play more games, and that's a valid point. The league could consider expanding the schedule, but given current attendance and viewership numbers, most teams wouldn't find that financially feasible. For example, the Indiana Fever sold out every home game in 2024, largely thanks to Caitlin Clark's star power. Meanwhile, the Dallas Wings averaged only 4,200 fans per game. If you're the Wings, why would you add more home games that could potentially lose money? The Players Association is demanding pay comparable to the NBA without. Recognizing that NBA revenue comes from a product people are willing to pay a premium to watch, the average NBA ticket costs around $94. While the average WNBA ticket is about $47, NBA. TELEVISION rights are valued at $76 billion over 11 years, compared to the WNBA's deal worth only $200 million annually over 11 years, a total of roughly $2.2 billion. While that sounds impressive, it's only about 3% of what the NBA earns. The players want revenue sharing at NBA levels. But the revenue isn't there yet. The response from the Players Union has been to essentially say that the league's current revenue situation isn't their problem. Pay us what we believe we're worth, and the revenue will grow in time. But that's not how business works. Revenue needs to come first. Then, compensation follows. You don't pay employees based on future potential. You pay them based on what the business currently generates. An uncomfortable truth is emerging from these negotiations. The leadership of the Players Association seems to be prioritizing short-term gains for themselves over the long-term stability and growth of the league. This approach risks undermining the league's future and the very progress it has made there in a position where they could potentially afford to cancel the 2026 season because they have other sources of income. However, the players most affected, rookies, those on minimum contracts, and athletes who rely on the WNBA as their primary income, would bear the brunt of that decision. If the season is canceled, Caitlin Clark will be fine. She has a lucrative Nike deal worth $28 million over 8 years and endorsements with Gatorade, State Farm, and Wilson. She could even make more money sitting out a season than most WNBA players earn in their entire careers. But what about the player earning $80,000 with no endorsements? What happens to her if the season gets canceled because the Players Association refused to negotiate? The owners have made significant offers. They've increased salaries, improved travel conditions, increased per diem allowances, and invested in better facilities. But they're not willing to agree to a revenue-sharing model that could bankrupt teams if the hype around stars like Clark doesn't last. That's their real concern. What happens when Clark retires? Or when the initial excitement fades? What if ratings decline back to previous levels? The Players Association seems to believe the league's current growth will be permanent. While owners are betting it's temporary, both sides are essentially playing chicken with the future of women's professional basketball. The big question is, who will blink first? If neither side backs down, there might not be a 2026 season at all. And if that happens, the league's survival could be in jeopardy. So, where do you stand? Are the players justified in demanding NBA-level revenue sharing, even though the league's current revenue doesn't support it? Or are they risking the entire future of the league by refusing to negotiate? Ultimately, this issue will be decided in the next 12 months. The outcome of those negotiations will determine whether the WNBA can become a sustainable, major sports league, or if it becomes a cautionary tale about pushing for more than the market can realistically support. What's your take? Do you think the players are making a smart move or risking everything for short-term gains? Let me know in the comments.